Hello everybody, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV Extra. Today is a brand new topic, it's about Formula 1, and this time I'm not by myself. I've got my second driver right next to me right now.
First driver.
Oh, battle tensions already going on in this team. Right guys, today we're going to talk about, is there a tension between McLaren now since Lando and Oscar have had the first little incident? Have you obviously watched the highlights?
I've seen the incident. So, naturally, it's going to be between those two. I think Verstappen will probably fall away towards the last quarter of the season. And I think there will be tension coming because naturally that's going to be your main competitor. Yes, they drive for the same team, but what happens, it was stupidity from Lando Norris. And I think if he's 5 years older, he doesn't do that. That comes with experience. Because obviously he tries to do the undertake and there was not enough room and he smashes in the wall and it's cost him all the points. However, come later on that season, McLaren have just got to let it play out. They can't prioritise it, They're both going. So if one's slower than the other, I don't know, say Verstappen's first, we'll say Leclerc's second and then the two McLarens are third and fourth, but let's just say Norris is running slower but Piastri's got more pace. I think naturally most teams will swap the drivers around. I don't think they will.
Nope, I totally agree. I was seeing this beforehand. Lando's got fresher tyres. What McLaren should have done then is went to Oscar. Lando's got brand new tyres.
When was this? When was this?
When was this? It was the Canadian Grand Prix, Lee.
Yeah, cool.
Just
so the audience know what you're talking about.
Well, I did say the Canadian Grand Prix at the start, so that's where I was going to start. So what McLaren should have done, which I was saying to my partner Sarah over there straight away, going, what McLaren should have done is Oscar, let Lando through, let Lando have a go at Antonelli. If you can't get past, we'll swap the cars on the last lap, so you're guaranteed fourth, and then we'll go fourth and the fifth. But even before they had the contact, they were racing spot on. They were giving each other room, they're giving clean racing, which is like what you like to see. Rule number one is always in F1, you do not take your teammate out. But I totally agree with you. Lando's fault, hands down. I was like, what's he doing? What is he doing?
Do you know what it reminded me of? Back in the day, when you had Hamilton and you had who else was it? Mercedes German, Nico Rosberg.
Catalonia, 2016.
Because they didn't get on, and you get the point where you don't want that, do you?
Nah. At this minute in time, the answer is there's no tension. Lando came straight away on the team radio when it happened there. I'm sorry guys, it was my fault. He took the blame at 1000%, and it's good. It's great to see. Zach Brown has come out, our team principal, and turned around and says he credited Lando for coming out and saying sorry. And that to me is a team principal. That's what you need to do straight away. Even Lando went over to Oscar afterwards and apologised to him in the interview pen, going, "I'm sorry."
No, that shows a lot. It does show a lot. It shows you that he knows he's in the wrong.
And it shows.
I think it also, and you need to look at, and you can bring it up if you want with Russell and Verstappen, but Verstappen doesn't do that.
Nah. Verstappen be going, oh look, he nearly tried to kill us. He tried to push us against the wall. No, what it was is Oscar took the line that Lando wanted to take turn 1 and turn 2. But what he done there, luckily for us, Oscar continued, didn't have any damage, so just pitted him, in case of a risk of a puncture. But we didn't have the pace. McLaren did not have the pace to get the win. Russell had that under control from the get-go. And I was happy with a P4 and 5. Maybe we could have got a podium if McLaren swapped the cars around and let Lando have a crack at Antonelli, because I think Lando could have. I think Piastri knew he was ahead of Lando. He knew the gain. It was more Lando to lose. And what he do in a desperate situation, he tried to look for a desperate move, and he did. And unfortunately, he got knocked out. And if it's going to come to a point, I think the point is now it's going to be once it gets to 50 points, Lando's number 2 driver, he's lost his chance, and it'll be Oscar, and it'll be
interesting to see how
be back then. The constructors, if they do tensions, McLaren could lose the constructors, which I'm kind of worried about.
No, you're worried about that? The miles in front?
174 points.
That's a lot.
But if McLaren take each other out,
Yeah, but
right,
that's
if they do a DNA, then all of a sudden Mercedes get 2 and a 3.
That's
or
probably
1 and 3.
5 races ahead.
Yeah, but it can still happen though. If they're going to keep making
won the
pitting and doing all that there.
I think the constructors done. The battle whoever won second place.
I'm a McLaren fan. I'm happy with the way we got there. But
The constructors is nailed down, 100%. It's not going to be tight.
Yes,
this year.
I agree. It's locked down already. But if Oscar and Lando are going to continue doing this and taking each other out and ruining each other's races, they can lose both championships.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's going to be a
radio.
lockdown now. Once it gets to 50 points, Oscar's ahead. Right, it's locked down. Number 1 is Oscar. Unfortunately, Lando.
I don't think McLaren will do that if it's between the 2 drivers. If Verstappen's in the mix, that's where I think the second driver will have to play. Will have to play coy.
Yep,
we'll have to.
He hates it, and you showed.
Depends how. And as much as you think if Verstappen is such a twat, because let's be honest, he is.
Yeah, wins you.
He is, but he's a hell of a driver. He's such a talented driver. I know, but he is. But you look at the other 2. You look at whoever's his partner. They struggle massively.
Because Red Bull are only concentrate on one driver, and it's Max Verstappen. No matter who the teammate is. If you look at Mercedes,
that's something that they need to improve because.
Yep.
It's going to be now 2 years running without no constructors, and Red Bull have more or less dominated the last 5-6 years before last season.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's great to see. Like McLaren has stepped up, Ferrari has stepped up, Mercedes has stepped up, even the junior team, like the Racing Bulls, they're got queens. Like they're getting 2 drivers that are like set up the cars for them there. But like I feel sorry for Yuki because if Yuki had the same car, right, the Red Bull are doing for the same 2 drivers, you're going to get good results. But if you prioritise over one
do you
car,
reckon?
Yes. If you prioritise the one car,
I don't think he's a good driver. I think he's poor. I think you'll get even if you put someone else in that.
If you're going to put Hadjar in the Red Bull right now, is he going to do a better job? Is he going to do a better job than Yuki Tsunoda?
Yes.
Is he going to get?
Even though he's a rookie, and he's the one that's been linked to Red Bull.
Is he going to get?
He'll do better.
Red Bull standards. Red Bull.
No, because Red Bull ideally they want 2 drivers on the podium, don't they?
Exactly. But with the car set up just for Max, the car could be worse off if Hadjar doesn't like it. Right,
True,
so that's still on 1 there. So what are you going to happen to number 2 driver if it's going to happen?
I think Tsunoda's. I think it's awful. I think it's absolutely shocking. I think you could have Alonso, you could have Sainz, you could even have Hadjar in there. There's probably half the grid. I think Tsunoda's just very, very fortunate that he's got that drive, and I think Liam Lawson is probably a little bit underrated and probably a little bit unfortunate to lose his seat so early,
especially after 2 races.
And we're seeing it last season with Pérez. Pérez was struggling. It seems to be a common theme with whoever's second driver, and that's something that Red Bull need to really look at because they could finish 4th quite easily this season. And yes, Ferrari on all firing cylinders, but they're picking more points up than what Tsunoda's letting the team down. It's Verstappen that's picking up all the points, and that's incredible for him. And then you've got Mercedes looking a little bit more better the last couple of races. George Russell looking more sharper. So come the end of the season, we could see Red Bull 4th.
Moving on to the next subject, which I'm dying for you to know, Lee, is Lance Stroll. Right? This is like the dramatic, like, that happens at the Red Bull. Right? What's happening there? What's happening in Aston Martin? Monaco, Lance Stroll he was playing Mario Kart at Monaco. He was just like crashing into everyone, getting in everyone's way. Canada does exactly the same. It's like,
is he fit?
That was my point.
Is he mentally fit as well?
He's not mentally fit. He's not mentally wanting to drive the F1 car. You can tell because his dad owns Aston.
It's not just that. Didn't he have surgery again? Yep,
surgery for the wrist that he broke 2 years ago at Bahrain. In my opinion, he's got a wrist there. Turn around, they should put Djokovic in that Aston Martin, give him a run out because at the minute in time.
Well, the problem is how long can you be loyal to your family member? And because at the end of the day, it's business, and business is run on money. And the way F1 works, the higher you finish, the more reward you get. And Aston Martin, yes, they burst on the scene a couple of years ago, which was really surprising. But they've kind of fell off now. They're more,
they're concentrating on 2026.
The more back of the grid nowadays. You're staying 15 downwards.
Well, Alonso got got more points, which
you expect that though, because Alonso's a world champion.
Yeah. Obviously Sarah supports Fernando Alonso since he was even in his minority days. I'll say he's the most unluckiest man of the season because he was running great Monaco. He was running the P6. Sorry, he was going to get points. Mechanical failure. He was running well in Miami until Lawson decided to take him out.
I think he is. I think
he's the most unluckiest man.
But the thing is with Alonso is that he's such a talented driver, and he's
still got it.
He's look. I mean, the oldest on the grid.
Not far behind Loris.
I know, but I actually think Lewis has passed it. To be honest with you, I think he's naturally as you get older, and he's older than me. That says something. How old's Hamilton? 40, isn't he? 41. Yeah. 40, 41. I just think his reactions. I think if you give Hamilton now the McLaren, I think he comes second behind the driver all the time. I think he's still talented. I still think he's capable of getting podium and the odd one win in every 15 races. But he's not elite. He's not at his peak. He's on the down. He's like a footballer coming towards the end of the career.
Yeah.
He's like that. Yeah. He's still talented, but he's lost a bit of pace. Pardon the pun. So with Hamilton, I do think he's passed it. Alonso's still got it, I think. But if you give everyone an equal car, it'd be very interesting to see who wins it, because I think Alonso will be right up there.
Yeah. Next topic we're going to speak about is who Lee was just talking about, Lewis Hamilton. What happened to Lewis Hamilton? He was in the quarter. He was in the middle of no man's land. He was just driving around in a comfortable P6. But then I found out why he was so far off the pace. Have you read why?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I was saying to you this morning as we're doing this video, I literally fell asleep watching the race last night.
It was. Montreal was a snooze fest until the back end when Oscar, Lando and Anthony were battling. The reason why Lewis Hamilton was so far was because his Ferrari was damaged. He ran over a warthog.
As you do.
As you do in Canada, because it's always a problem there. And that's why he was so far off the pace, because he had damage to the car, which is understandable, but still
that's just unfortunate. That's not a Ferrari thing, however.
It's not a Ferrari thing, but it's your team.
It is my team, and it is unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. Look, it's... The thing is with as I say, of Hamilton, it doesn't... I know the F1 and the TV a few races back were trying to make it as drama with the radio stuff, and I don't think the radio stuff is still perfect. The relationship that he's got with his race engineer. Maybe that's a language barrier, I don't know.
Ricardo Adami is who Lee's on about.
Because you can see what they select to put out, and it's not like smooth as it is. No. Like we going for plan B, and he'll argue against it. Not argue, you'll say something like, "Wait a minute, I thought we were on plan what?" And it's just little things that, and it's like, whereas Leclerc seemed a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more easier. If you go to plan B, he seemed to be. More often than not, he's all right with it.
He wasn't happy with the strategy that Ferrari gave him.
More often than not, though, he is.
Yeah. Because what happened was...
But there seems to be tension with Hamilton.
Yeah, tension, definitely.
But maybe that's just because he's new in the role. He's only been there a few months.
He misses Bonnet. And
I think, and I honestly think, look, I'll say at the end of the season whether it was the right decision or not to get rid of Sainz or not. I'll ask that question at the end of the season.
Yeah, because Williams didn't have Williams managed to get a point out of this. Carlos Sainz finished P10, but Williams was absolutely nowhere.
Well, before the race, because in qualifying, just after in the pen, Sainz was like, "Nope, don't want to talk about it." Nah.
Yeah.
Can't think. I have to think we've got no chance. So fair play, you got a point.
Got a point, but that was because. That's because Lando got there. Because obviously, Lando demolished himself, destroyed himself, he made his own. But you get there, he was battling there.
That's why if you're always in 11th place, still push.
Always be there, because it just takes one driver. Lando did it and got.
You've got half the grid in front of you, and something can happen.
Yet again, this has come. Go back. We'll put a link up to the start of the season where me and Lee predicted where the teams, who's not going to get points and which are going to get points. And so far, Lee, the two teams that we said are going to be doing really bad are actually doing not that bad.
Look, I think you got to get the top four. Is going to be the top four.
Yes.
Whichever order you think it'll be. McLaren are going to finish first. We know that, and then the battle, as I say, between second, third, fourth, and then who wants fifth? Because that's still quite a bit of chunk of money. A lot of people probably would have said Aston Martin.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 5th. The teams that are like we said are going to be 10th and 9th are actually not doing that badly. They actually got.
Well, Hadjar's doing bits, isn't he? And he's he's the best out of the rookies.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Well, I think in terms of driving and his ability, I think he is.
Wow.
I think he's really impressed me. Out of all the rookies, I think, that kid's got to drive for a better team in the future. 100%.
Definitely. I've been impressed with Kimi Antonelli. I know everyone's saying, but he's joined a top 4 team.
Well, if you stick Antonelli in the Sauber,
he's not going to do that well, is he?
We'll see. Yeah, you know.
Bottle
I think he's
done a
done
great
better.
job.
I think he's done better.
Yeah, I think he's. Well, I wouldn't say that after the round after round 1, you were thinking, "Ooh, that's definitely alarm bells crashing out on the formation lap."
Well, we're not even halfway through the season.
Yeah,
I think
he's done a great job.
He's the one that's. Could he do a job at Red Bull because he's linked, as I say? Is it a poisonous challenge?
But as a perspective, would Red Bull take that chance? Going, whoa, wait there, we're going to have three people in the second Red Bull seat. What does that make us as? That's one of the things. That's one of the things at Red Bull.
It's similar like Ferrari, because Ferrari got obviously Behrman. Is he going to replace Hamilton? Is he ready to do that in the next year and a half? We've got to see more from Behrman, because he obviously came in, he was talented, and is he ready to take Hamilton's seat in the next year and a half?
I already know who's taking that second Ferrari seat once Hamilton eventually retires.
Do you reckon Sainz will come back?
Yeah. I think that's in the making. Straight.
He's been asked that question, hasn't he?
I think that has already been done.
Watch the lie detector.
It's funny, guys. If you don't go and watch. If you are massive fans, we'd like to see you like and subscribe as well to the channel. We will get back to your comments if you've got anyone down. We'd like to see.
Dale will get back to your comments.
I'll get back to you because this is my segment. But for me, I think that deal was done. Lewis Hamilton there, Ferrari wanted Lewis Hamilton. I think it was back burner. Sainz in a couple of years' time, once Lewis Hamilton retires, you'll be back in that.
Do you think Ferrari wanted Hamilton for the money? For commercial reasons?
Yes, commercial reasons. I think they wanted there because I think, a 7-time world champion. Yes, we'll get him in there, but I think commercially wise,
because he brings it, doesn't he? He brings financial package, doesn't he? You're paying him an outstanding amount because he'll be paid. Is he the highest paid driver on that grid now? Probably.
No.
Do you not reckon?
The highest paid amount is Max Verstappen.
Do you not reckon that he is? Because Hamilton was on to ridiculous at Mercedes.
Yeah. He's up there. Lewis is up there because obviously he's into with fashion as well. So you're going to get like the Tommy Hilfiger, the watches as well. So you're going to get the commercial.
Yeah. So if you ever watch the F1, that's straight away they put the watches on straight away. And they're like this. Yeah. Well, I think
Rolex trying to get them there.
It's because they're getting paid an absolute fortune to show that off in an interview.
What makes me laugh the most is have you noticed Max Verstappen's hat? Like his cap that he wears. It's a Red Bull cap, but if you notice on the right hand side there, it's from 3 seasons ago. Because on the other side it says AlphaTauri, which is no longer AlphaTauri. It's Raging Bulls.
I might keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I've noticed that with Max. I was thinking right there, but obviously you see the Rolexes on Lando, Tommy Hilfiger.
They're all doing it, man. Yeah. They're all doing it because they get paid. Sponsors.
Even with they've all got their own caps now, so it's basically Rogers is there. But it's good. It's good to see Formula One, because back then it was the dull season. It was the Max Verstappen show.
The only slight problem that I might have is if McLaren start dominating.
Yeah,
you'll like that.
Nah,
you will.
Nah. From a McLaren point of view, even when we the Miami,
because you don't want to be in McLaren start running away with it, because that doesn't fix Formula One.
I want McLaren to win fair and square. The odd occasion the race result will win through 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Yes, that's good, but I want close race. I want proper close race.
That's where because we got sick of Red Bull, and Red Bull went to bits mid-season last season.
Yep.
It was brilliant because you've seen Russell win, you've seen Hamilton win, not Hamilton because
he did.
I'm thinking of Ferrari.
Leclerc,
Sainz, you've seen a couple of your guys win as well. It was great. It was like Maranello got a new winner every week. It was brilliant.
But
you don't want it to be next season all McLaren again, and the next season, because then it's nah.
Next season's going to be the most exciting season because it's brand new.
You got Audi coming in, haven't you?
Brand new regulations. No one knows what. At the minute, it's 2025 cars. No one knows what the 2026 cars are going to be. So it's a level playing field. We've got another team coming, Cadillac, who are going to be Andretti Racing. So there's another one. Who's going to be them two? It's already been linked.
It's also what do you call him? Flavio's come back in F1, and how did he manage to get back? How did he worm his way back in? Because
he's got a racing ban for life,
and he's back in. Flavio
Briatore, who gave Michael Schumacher his first championship. Alonso, his first championship.
I know, but
title.
how's he squeezed back in?
He shouldn't be there. If you've got a ban for life, you're banned for life. It doesn't unban it. Are we going to have another Singapore? I'm
going there.
Yeah, you're going there for the. But the Singapore gate, the scandal gate, that's why you got banned for. You got banned for scandal for the Singapore Grand Prix, fixing it, really telling Nelson Piquet Jr. to spin the car on purpose, crash the wall.
Do you know what's funny about them two races? Because Monaco's tiny.
Yeah.
Singapore's only 17 miles by 30, and it's mad. Monaco's only something 4 miles that way, and 2 miles that way.
Everyone says, "Oh well, you're going to get rid of Monaco. You've got to get rid of Singapore." But Singapore, you've got more. I'm not a big fan of the Saudi one either. You got more opportunities to pass in Singapore. And Saudi's just got the long straight for the DRS. That's it there. So
I know.
That's another thing I said. We've got to stop bringing street circuits in. We've got to go back to proper circuits. For me, the street circuits bring in the revenue. Yes, I can understand that, but you're going to get boring Grand Prix. Half the people I read the comments, not from us, but another thing they're going, boring Grand Prix. One comment turned around.
They're trying to target the American audience the last few years, having the 3 races over there. You drive to survive, because a lot of the Americans that have got into Formula 1 only know Formula 1 because of Netflix.
Yeah,
and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but they haven't got a Scooby-Doo.
Next question is Christian Horner leaving Red Bull to join the Ferrari.
Well, that's the rumour.
Do you believe the rumour to be true, or are you happy with Fred Vasseur?
I like him as an individual, Fred, because he's got a bit of a character. He has, hasn't he? He has got.
Red Bull, obviously massive fans. Massive fans. They've come even Ferrari and McLaren banter. I think it was Italy when you won the.
I like him. I do like Fred. It's. But at the end of the day, it's results. A good season for Ferrari, realistically, is to finish second in the constructors and maybe get a couple of wins. I think that'll be a good season. But if he doesn't manage that, I think he's out the door. Christian Horner, I genuinely believe, would improve Ferrari. I think he would. I think he's ruthless, and I like that in a way that. Whereas Fred's you'll put your arm around you and have a pint and stuff. Whereas Christian Horner just wouldn't. No, you're not good enough.
You're not good enough to stab you in the back.
Yeah, you're not sitting with me. It's. I quite like that ruthlessness about him. So I think he would. I think he would. I think he would improve any team. I think he would improve McLaren. I think he would be an asset to anyone. Yes, I think he would.
He would, but Zach Brown.
Yes, I know you're happy with what you've got.
Zach Brown has done amazing things. It's not just Zach Brown. Andrew Seidel and
Dalian, who always speaks to.
Yeah, so them two there.
Who does he always speak to? Ted. He always speaks to Ted. Ted always seems to get him off the wall.
I think, honestly, guys, if you're new to F1 or you want to have a bit of banter, go and watch Ted Kravitz's Notebook. All the time he brings you.
You love that, didn't you?
What?
That's your favourite show, isn't it?
It is. I love watching Ted's Notebook. It's the banter between them. It's the same with Martin.
All he's got is a tiny little notepad. He's winging it.
Yeah.
He just gets told we're going to ad break.
Yeah, it's just he breaks it down, everything, even upgrades. You could this is McLaren brought 3 upgrades. Did they work on the car? Probably not. But every car is not up to every track. As you notice, Mercedes were struggling at Bahrain, but they were brilliant at Canada. They always go well at Canada. McLaren, we don't really do well at Canada. Where the last Grand Prix,
Ferrari are due to improve in mid-season, so we're hit mid-season. So come on.
Ferrari, to be fair, Ferrari are actually going up as
well. We have slightly improved. We need. It's
what F1 needs is F1 all.
What we need is the 2 McLarens to crash it.
Oh, thanks. I don't want that. I want a good battle, side by side racing, and then there, but not winning.
Take Max out whilst they're there as well. That'd be nice.
Oh, it'll happen at Austria. It'll happen at Austria.
Austria's very
Hopefully,
quick.
it'll be Lando, Max hit.
Well, you get around Austria and so it's really quick. It's the quickest Grand Prix, isn't it?
Second one, because Monaco is the 108, and I think.
Because Austria just go up the hill and you come
up
back
the hill, back down again. Yeah, but it's still good. It's good circuit.
we'll have to wrap up.
Yeah, we've got that was the F1 news. I will be bringing out some more content for you later on during the week. So again, like and subscribe, comment, and I'll get back to you when I can.
See you very soon.
Bye.